All right, ladies and gents, happy to be casting this, but I'm also a little nervous because, well, story time, okay? So, Legend of Corner Boy video came out in January of 2022, blew up. Many people who are watching this right now are watching it simply due to that video. They didn't know Age of Empires 2 still existed. They enjoyed the content, I hope, or at least were suckered into watching more videos, which they did like. It was 800 elo, 1v1. It was a nomad start, which means you don't start with a town center. And this player who's now in the blue, Ram, went to the very corner and fought from that corner outwards. And there were a lot of comments about how that made a lot of sense, etc. Here's why I'm concerned. Since then, Ram has gone from 800 elo to 1150 elo, has gone up 300 elo over the last few months. So we now get an answer. Does he still do it? Is he still corner boy, or has he realized that maybe you should build the TC even faster? Maybe you should build the TC in the middle. Ready to find out? Let's go. He's going to the north. He's going to the north. I've never seen this game. Please still go to the corner. My heart will break if you don't still go to the corner. He's heading there, guys. He's heading there. He used to be a low elo legend, as we call them. And he's in the corner. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Now, I actually have a couple more downloads. So at the conclusion of this game, win or loss, I will look at the start. They're all on African clearing. It feels like he only plays 1v1s when it's a nomad start. And currently, we don't have any nomad games in the pool anymore. So he will play other stuff. But he's in the northern corner now, playing as his Spanish, which he played as in that video. Now, Red, this is actually kind of funny. I don't know if Red knows Blue or what happened here, but Red is also in the corner. So we have corner strategy versus corner boy. I don't know if that makes corner boy stronger, because corner boy will say, oh, I understand that strategy, so you're screwed, kid. Or if maybe corner boy will be intimidated by that. But anywho, Spanish are actually top tier in any nomad start, because their villagers build faster, and that would apply to your TC. And something I remember from the Legend of Corner Boy, and we have a while till we get there, his unit control was top-notch, guys. Now, he was a bit more in the corner in that video because there was no wood in the corner like this. Yeah, you can see him starting off here. African clearing, a map where you should take as much food from shorefish as possible before taking other sources. So I slightly prefer Corner Boy's TC, simply due to the fact it's right on the shorefish. But overall, there's not that biggest difference. Red choosing to take the sheep for the time being. So, you know, you got African clearing. Someone remind me, what was the map? Was it Land Nomad before? Yes, I think it was Land Nomad. The problem for Corner Boy, really, is the fact that there's not many maps where you can actually go to the corner off a nomad start. For those that don't know regular nomad, there's normally water around the outer ring, so you can't really find a corner there. So yeah, African clearing and Lands Nomad, pretty much the only maps. Now, a lot of people will ban maps that are nomad starts. So I looked at that profile and I was a bit surprised that virtually every 1v1 game was African clearing, and it's possible. I mean, maybe, you know, Arabia games come in and Ram Alt F4s and goes to watch TV or something. Says, you know what, and I'm not going to play this game today. Some people do like to play certain settings and dodge, as we say, other maps. That's a whole different conversation. You know, some people are like, "Rah, that's bad. You should be diverse." And then other people are like, yeah, but I really enjoy the game a certain way. And certainly we know that Ram, who has not reached out to me, by the way, I didn't get any emails, I didn't get any YouTube comments. I got no contact from this player, which sometimes happens because people are like, whoa, that's me, and hey, T90, I want to tell you about this or that. Nothing. This guy just continues to do his thing, apparently. But a 300 elo jump is crazy, so I'll be curious to see what the strat is here. So Ram is scouting around right now, looking for resources like sheep, maybe a boar, but so far has done the right thing. Villagers on shorefish is actually faster than villagers on sheep, even faster than villagers on boar, so If you could take the shore fish, you should. When you're stuck in the corner, you obviously have to run closer to where the enemy might be. And so it does leave your villagers more exposed. Whereas if blue would have town centered here and then would run here for shore fish, you're usually running away from the enemy. But wow, he's going to wall up, guys. He's going to wall up. Interesting. So he's not even interested in leaving. Even though I think there's a lot of reason to leave. Kind of like we're going to see from red. Red is going to run out here. Blue has no interest in that. Dustin in chat says, Corner Boy and I Sit were the first videos I saw from you. Nice. Well, it's funny. You know, anytime I upload a video, I don't know what type of viewership it's going to get, right? I could find the most entertaining game ever. I could find... I could put my best work into it. My best jokes, my best stories. Whatever you deem as entertaining and view-worthy and like-worthy. And I could get 100 views instead of 1.4 million. Like, you never know. And so I always just try and do my best. But at the same time, you know, occasionally I want to chill out, tell some stories. And I actually had to tell my dad. So if you watch that video back, guys, I told a story about my parents raising us. Specifically how my dad wanted me to be right-handed and his method for that. And last time I was at home... or sorry, no, it was actually my parents visiting a few months ago. I told my dad that story, and he thought it was funny. And then I told him over 1 million people heard it, assuming they didn't skip past that. And he was like, "Oh man." So I didn't know. I didn't know what I was gonna like, what type of viewership I was gonna get on that. But I've had big videos over the years, videos that bring people in. You got Force Nothing, you got Fat Slob. You got I Sit, maybe. Different names, different times. But it's always good to have another video blow up every now and then and just bring more people into the content. Okay, so I was wrong, actually. Ram, or our corner boy here, is interested in leaving for more food, which I think is a good play, but is walling up just in case. This, to me, feels very smart. You bring the rhino in from furthest away, and then you save this one for later. And what Ram is most likely going to do, granted, the last time I saw this player, he was significantly worse with Elo. What we're most likely going to see is Fast Castle. And you guys might be doing the math right now, and it might not be adding up, because you're like, how does Ram have a 4-villager lead when Red only has 25 more seconds of TC idle time? It's because the TC being built right away with Spanish. Spanish are top tier on Nomad for a lot of reasons, but one of those is just simply because they build faster. If you remove that build speed bonus from Spanish, they would no longer be this good on Nomad. But yeah, Corner Boy is 1150 elo now. He is no longer low elo legends. Does lack the food right now. Dropping off the food, and there you go. On his way to Feudal Age. With 2 on stone, 3 on gold. And should be plenty of food, but I still don't see him having the perfect amount to go Fast Castle. Tom says, I love T90 stories. Well, I feel like once you get to know me, right? I feel like once you guys get to know me, the stories are part of it. But imagine if you click a video for the first time, and some dude who you've never listened to before, and YouTube just recommended, is talking about how his dad used to attach his arm to a lamppost. Right? Like, if you think about it, it would be a bit weird. You're like, okay, why did YouTube send it this way? 1.4 million views. Like, a large percentage of those people have never seen my content before. I can understand it. Once you get to know a content creator more, you know, then at that point, that maybe matters more to you. But yeah, okay, we've got an archer range here for Red, and speaking of Red's approach, Red is going for archers here. Archers are fantastic to get some map control. If you're ever worried that someone's going to castle drop you, opening up with archers is good. And look at Red! Red has scouted, the corner boy with the sheep. He did scout the right corner, didn't see much, and found the fortifications here for Mr. Ram. Yo, Billy, thanks for being here today. Glad you could make it. Yeah, I'm so excited, guys. Not really a story, but I live far away from my mom and dad now, you know? And I don't know if it's getting older. It's probably that. We're all getting older, right? Family, friends, you viewers. But I live far from my family, man. It's not that I didn't appreciate my family when I was early 20s. I love my family. But I miss them more and more, you know, the older I get. And so I'm happy, you know, with COVID and all that, I wasn't able to travel home as much as I wanted. And so now things are settling a bit more, and I'm happy I'm going to see them this week. And so I'm really looking forward to that. Okay, I was slightly correct. I think it wasn't the perfect uptime that Ram would have wanted, but for 1150 elo, look at the timing on some of this stuff. I mean, Red could be in some real trouble here. Red is walling up. Red still hasn't moved out with the archers. And Red only took shorefish from one pond. So let's actually look at the food collected. Okay, so Red has more wood, and that's it. And is well behind in all the other resources. So I think Ram is simply experienced and realizes how fast the food income is from shorefish with villagers. Remember, he took 2 ponds, right? And also took 2 rhinos. I'm not sure. Maybe Red took 2 rhinos. Why did I move so far away then? Well, because of the weather, man. Like, for 4 months out of the year, I don't know about you guys, but I get massive seasonal depression. And for 4 months out of the year, it felt like I wasn't even the same person. So that was the big reason. I work from home, right? So I work from home. And the support's there, too, nowadays, where I can travel home, you know, as many times as I really need to. So my goal is to get home, like, 4 or 5 times a year. But, yeah, I mean, the weather was the main reason, and I was looking to move south, and then I met my girlfriend, and then she was down here, and so, you know, the rest is kind of history. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to getting home, seeing them. So, concern for Red would be, you've made all this army, but you didn't really get value from it yet. You know where the opponent is, but you haven't actually gone out there. Now, look at this. Ram made a scout, and Ram scouted the opponents in the corner. So this is a crazy duel. Look at this, guys. They're like mirrored bases. Corner boy versus corner boy. Not what I was expecting when I saw this game, by the way. I don't know what it is from Red, but Red seems really uneasy about moving forward. It is good that Red will have solid army composition when Red arrives to Castle Age, but I mean, this is now a time where you're just like, the longer you wait, the more likely it is you could be pushed back by something in Castle Age. Or from the opponent in Castle Age, and the opponent's got knights. Just got back from Florida. Weather was seriously hot for a Brit. No, I get it. Yeah, so that was the main reason. And we'll see. You know, life moves on very quickly. Town Bell at 1200 elo? What? What is going on, man? Okay, anyways, he wanted to drop off the resources, and then a Town Bell does that. We'll skip past that point. Shoot, I forget what I was talking about now. The Town Bell completely ruined my train of thought. But we got a castle here for Ram. And you can see, like, a lot of players, guys, will take map control with the knights. And then they will drop the castle behind the pressure. And I think that would have worked super well here. But that is not how Ram operates. If you recall Ram, or the Legend of Corner Boy, it is a slow progression from one corner to the next. Ouch. Ouch, ouch, ouch. It's only 3 archers, though. It could have been the full group. At this point, I'm still confused by Red's archers. Red just wants to leave home and then wants to go back and wants to leave home and wants to go back constantly. What are you doing, man? He's so indecisive right now. Well, on the bright side for Red, it doesn't look like the archers will be found. Also, on the bright side for Red, the resources are going to look really good. This is definitely a point where you want to shift into other forms of food eco. And, ooh, okay. Red could deny this town center. And blue clearly notices this. So Corner Boy kind of getting caught out here. And this TC is going to be denied. Now, the archers could also all die. It depends on when red gets the upgrades. But here comes Corner Boy running over to get support. Now, keep in mind, no bloodlines, no armor, so no upgrades on those knights. So if red is able to upgrade these archers by the time knights are there, it could be a much better fight for red. That said, red realizes the knights are coming. Great game sense. And is going to run away. Okay, blue looking. Blue coming back over. Blue actually didn't lose a villager. It says the eco KD is 0-1 with 0-0 for Ram. So I'm guessing red lost a villager to a rhino earlier. But the overall KD is 0-5 for red. Not the best start. But does have the resources for a castle here. Hey T90, I asked earlier, but I'm super curious how your parents have supported you or how they reacted when you first started your casting career. Love your stories, by the way. Oh my god. Okay, is Ram intentionally scouting this? I can't tell if this is him setting waypoints or what. I was just about to say his awareness is insane. Okay, he now knows this is here, I think. Villager dies. That guy thought he had gotten away with his life. Yeah, I'll answer the question as red runs around. So... quite honestly, everyone in my life told me never to pursue this full-time. Except for, everyone in my family. All I heard was the amount of risks involved in it, you know? I would have had to quit my full-time job. Got to think as well, it's like my parents are almost 70, so it's like, what did they have in their life? They're like, goal is the same job for 40, 50 years, stability, stability, stability. They want that the same for their kid. So, you know, it's understandable looking back that they would have that outlook on it. They didn't understand the business, and they were obviously very scared because when I was thinking about it, it was not as successful as I am now. So, long story short, my parents were like, yeah, don't do it. Like, it could be a big risk and it could be a big mistake, but I, in the end, was a grown man, and the risks were worth it because it's what I really like to do. And I figured if it didn't work out, and this is still my outlook, like if there's ever a day where I can't support myself from doing this, I just want to do this as long as I can, right? And then I'll figure it out in the future. And so I'm really happy that I committed to it. I obviously, even after having committed to it for many years, I got way more popular than I ever could have dreamed. And have accomplished things well past what I could have dreamed. So I'm really glad I took the risk. And then so it took my dad, he was that voice of reason initially, but he was also like, he was less worried, I think, because he knew I really enjoyed it, yada, yada. It took my mom a few years of doing it full time before she like stopped worrying. I think she's a bit more of a worrier. You know, like last year was like when my mom, and it also could have helped that like the numbers were really big with viewership and all that. And I think at that point she was like, okay, my son's going to be good. So that's pretty much it. By the way, very inactive game. And we have Ram imping, guys. Ram is imping. He's going up to imp. I don't know what the plan is in the Imperial Age, but we have extra fortifications from the corner. We've got the gate now. And we have more villagers going to stone. To me, the Imperial Age is a perfect play, and I don't even know if Ram knows it. Like, going imp when the opponent has a forward castle is the perfect play. And maybe that's something that Red is considering as well. It is cheaper with Byzantines. The thing that is going to hurt Red is that Red has invested way more into the army. If you look at the amount of blacksmith upgrades in here versus here, you've got, well, until a moment ago, 0 versus 5. And so Red could have wrecked these knights, but hasn't been making the move versus those knights. And so let's see if Ram reacts here. Here comes Red. Remember, Red knew there was a TC going up here earlier. Oh, and getting a great engagement. This is the worst possible scenario for Corner Boy. That scout was just scouting around, but he lost everything to that. And we actually, this is kind of funny. We have a Ram for Red who he's trying to use versus Ram. That's a new one. Perfectly reasonable to be worried about that. Yeah, of course. Of course. So, I think nowadays my mom, the thing she worries about is more of like the stress side, like the mental side, because I have a balance problem and I don't take care of myself to do this. So, you know, more motherly things, but beyond that, they're really happy for me. So, and being able to, there's a lot of stuff they don't know, let's put it that way, but my parents are retired, basically, and they're trying to figure out the housing situation and be able to help them. It means a lot to me, right? So I got to be careful because I never know if my parents are watching, but I got some surprises planned, so we're going to hush-hush on that. As Ram is going to run to the corner. Now, corner boy, please make a TC in the other corner. That would make me so happy. That would make me so happy, okay? I know this villager's wounded, and he's off to the corner, and he's like, you don't even know. Oh, he knows he's here. Build a TC. Come on. Do it for the fans. Yes! Now, it's not like corner, but that makes sense. He's 1,200 elo now. He's really improved. Now, problem for Red is, Red was going to commit to Rams, and Red just stopped, right? And this whole time, you could have also clicked up to the Imperial Age. Now, this is a commitment problem that maybe players have at this elo. Still a very close game. But, you know, imagine if it was 5 Rams. This could have been an issue for Ram. Who, by the way, still only has Castle Age, or Feudal Age upgrades with the Blacksmith. We haven't even seen Cavalier come in. But I think what's been good for both players here is the lack of TC idle time. Their TCs have been producing all the time. In fact, it's just they don't have a ton of idle time with most of their stuff. Like, the TCs are producing, the ranges are producing for the most part. Picked him at a bad time. Siege Workshop, stable on this side. Okay, we got a little raid here with the crossbows. Now, the second the final armor comes in on this becomes a big problem for Red. And it's possible Red didn't remember that Byzantines have a cheaper Imperial Age. There goes Red. Does Ram know about this? Hey, Ram knows about the castle and is still not making a push for it. How is this 1100 elo? It's all right, Sean. I know you're like, oh, when I play, people have trebbed out my castle already. But think about it. We've got conks, we've got bloodlines, we've got knights, we've got almost full castle age upgrades anyways. He is an imp, right? He is an imp. The TCs are always pumping villagers. The army compositions are building up for both of them. The key here, and I was just about to say, don't add another range. The key here right now is more barracks, I think, if you're Red. Because if you can get Halb in with this number of archers, like this is already a really good mass of archers. If you can get Halb in, you just saw the knights, it could be really strong. But then again, he just saw the conquistadors too. And infantry does die to gunpowder, so it's tricky. I think their builds were solid. I think their army production's solid. Nothing's perfect. Neither of them seems super aggressive. Yeah, you should, but this is a big mistake for Red. You have to assume that if the opponent's an imp, they're going to have the imp upgrades. So this is just never an area, especially right before imp, you never want to move out here. But then again, that's a perfect spot to find, right between the trees. And again, okay, now we're seeing Trebs for blue. But the Legend of Corner Boy, I feel like he was even faster to the Cavalier upgrade at, what was it, 800 elo when we saw him? So it has to be said while he's improved with his macro. And his army numbers are good. I'm not too sure if the lack of upgrades is going to be a good sign. But isn't this so ridiculous how they both ended up in the corner, though? I mean, this is the perfect Corner Boy Part 2. It's just perfect. You can't even make it up, man. You can't even make it up. And this happened this week. I'd never seen any of the other games. All right. So Corner Boy starts off with 1 Treb. The first thing red did was get Arbalest, which is a good move. Now you start to see the panic. Now, it's still so weird to me that we don't even have a single Imperial Age upgrade for Ram. But we do have the Imperial Age unit in the trebuchets. And what I remember about Ram is that Ram would keep all of his army in the same spot. And he had really good control of his conks and his paladins. He ended up going Conquistador Paladin. Okay, so he sends in the melee units first to go for the Rams, which, as we discussed, maybe could have been used a bit earlier. This is normally where you want to pull back a little bit. And he's not going to pull back. He commits to the fight. Bracer is not in for red, which is a pretty crucial upgrade to miss. And look at that. He snipes the Treb. And he is going to push all this right back, at least to the point of taking out the castle. Immediately puts red in the back foot with that and can fall back to his own castle. Guys, commitment is such a big deal. Notice how even though he's missing some of those ups, he's still got 2 stables queued all the time. Like, a lot of people, and I can even include myself in this sometimes, they'll have, like, 1 stable for a while, but they won't queue out of it most of the game. And then they'll have, like, 6, and then they're trying to catch up later on, you know? But having the castle consistently producing, having the stables consistently producing really brings you really high army. And I think when you're in the corner, which is half the reason why Corner Boy excites me, you don't have to worry about getting raided. And it's so a lot easier to focus on that type of thing. That said, red is like, well, I'm going to do it anyways. And again, the key, I think, for red would be more barracks here. And red's archer ranges are producing, but I'm not sure I agree with this skirmisher choice. Skirmishers are a bad choice when there's Cavalier on the field. Yeah, so every single move for Ram is just a slow progression. You know, what a lot of players will do with this type of army is use their mobility, and they'll loop in under castles and hit the sides of bases. This player does not believe in that. Or at least that's not how he plays. Always keeping the Cavalier or the Conks with the main push. Always coming forward with more siege. Here he comes with these Conquistadors. This should actually be a pretty good fight for the Arbs, if the Arbs engage. Like, the Conquistadors will have 1,000 HP, but so will the Arbs. The Arbs just need to fight. Yeah, the Arbs will have more range, even though there's no Bracer. I think it would have made a little more sense to send the Cavalier over here. Thankfully, though, the Conks are still good enough to get a good engagement here. And look at the pressure. This pressure is wild. I mean, for red, you could just tell red was microing here. And red didn't have any units in queue. And now red's like, oh, what do I do? And going for house walls. Are those missionaries? Missionaries! To heal! Let's go, baby! Nobody makes missionaries. Did Corner Boy make missionaries in the first game, guys? I should remember this. I should have done my homework. I feel like that's something he maybe made before. But he's made missionaries. You got the good old conk and donk with the conquistadors and the missionaries and their donkeys. And then you've also got the Cavalier, of course. And again, the Cavalier's always queued. The conks always queued. And for red, it's like there's times where units are queued and there's times where it's not. And the pressure is just relentless. And how do you damage his main eco? You don't. Because Corner Boy is doing Corner Boy things. And Corner Boy is in that corner. Now, this is a little sloppy for blue. This also could be really bad for blue. Blue's about to lose 20 villagers here and villagers on gold. Castle will go down. But at the same time, you know, red is taking as significant of losses, if not more, to the Cavalier raids, and which will get a whole lot worse here once this TC goes down. The red got the kills there, so both players have lost vills. But, jeez, man. And again, I'll just return to the same thing I've been saying, and this is honestly maybe one of the tweaks that made him go up 300 elo. He's always queuing up units. Yeah, he could add more stables, but he must have a rhythm down here. It's like queue up knights, get the trebs, get the conks, move forward. Queue up knights, repeat, you know, just constant. And adding anything else into that rhythm of adding more stables might slow him down a little bit. I love the fact that this player is actually not a low elo legend. It started as a low elo legend thing. It got hugely popular. And then the Legend of Corner Boy is sitting here, and he's well above mid elo at like 1150. What a beast. What a beast. Lovely, lovely stuff. Now, part of the struggle for players on any non-standard map, which would include all the settings that Legend of Corner Boy likes, is people just don't play it enough. Like, he's played a Nomad start enough times where, before we even talk about the positioning of the corner itself, he's just good enough at the start, right? Like, his fast castle time was beautiful. You can look, his fast castle time, what was the uptime? 1904 into castle drop, into some knights. That's solid. So that is something that definitely set Red back. Red was 5 minutes behind the castle age, which is tricky. But again, the fact that he's bumped up his elo, the corner strategy made sense. And he's continued to do it and stick to his identity, not playing any other civilizations. Will only play 1v1s when Nomad is in the map pool. The player is a unique player. Like, there's a reason. The reason I make legend videos is I make legend videos about people that have their own way of seeing the game, an own way of playing the game. Now, no idea is new under the sun. You know, it's what it feels like. People have always done different types of things. But it's the commitment to it. And he committed to that strat. And I'm going to... This is a little different from what I might normally do. But I actually just want to look. I have 3 other games from him. Okay, I thought they would be in here. No, they're not. Okay, so I got to tab into the actual game. Let's see if he's in the corner with the other 3 games that I have to end this, okay? Got a million recorded games. This one, African Clearing. I won't even use capture age, so it'll look a bit different. Actually, this could ruin everything. I don't know if I'll do one more, because if he doesn't go to the corner once, I'll be really upset. Okay, like here, he should definitely not TC the corner because it would take so long. Yeah, baby! He's going to the corner! Yeah, like if he TCs here, his TC up is so much faster, and then he gets more villagers out. Oh, I'm so glad we didn't ruin it right there. Can you imagine? And here, this guy was in the corner. That's funny. Well, maybe I'll save that one for a future game. But Corner Boy is, well, not back, because Corner Boy has been around, been kicking, been cornering. But look at his profile here, guys. You have African Clearing, African Clearing, African Clearing, African Clearing, African Clearing. There was a Runestones, but he resigns. No way. He only corners. Now, I do not think that is okay. You know, if everyone just resigned on maps they didn't want, it would be a problem. But African Clearing, African Clearing, African Clearing, African Clearing, African Clearing, African Clearing. Not even on Mega Random. He's like, nope, I will only do Nomad maps. Look at this history. Oh my goodness gracious. Islands. Okay, he played a Mega Random game. He did play 1. He did play 2. Excuse me. Maybe it was a Nomad start on Mega Random. Maybe it was a Nomad start. I didn't think of that. That can happen.